Well, hello guys, and welcome back to the questionable scale modeler, and we're going to do some more decal mayhem, possibly some abuse. So here we have, oops, hang on a second. Here we have 11 skewers that each one is holding a throttle body. I guess you'd call it a trumpet. A lot of cars, they're chrome or some kind of cool metallic. These are carbon fiber on the Lamborghini. So I've got 11 of them done. I'm going to do the last one here on camera. And as you can see, it is really, really small. And to do that, we're going to use this decal right here. This decal, come on, focus. See if I can get my hand a little bit better. Maybe this one I can do better. I'm going to focus. Anyway, that's a carbon fiber decal, and that is going to wrap around the bell shape of this, well, throttle body trumpet. How about that? The problem is when you try to wrap a flat piece around a curved body, it kind of has a tendency to wrap around it in an odd way, and it won't stay straight. So to fix that, we're actually going to cut the decal in half and do one side at a time, and that will limit the amount of misalignment that occurs during, because it's going to want to lift as it's going around the surface. And then if that's not bad enough, I've also got another decal that goes on the top of the throttle body trumpet. And I have not done those yet because I wanted to wait and get all the others, get the side decals done, because they were the more tricky ones. Now, to hold them on the skewer, what I did, the first thing I did is I drilled them. Well, I'm off camera. The first thing I did is I drilled the part out. Like, it wasn't completely all the way through. So I drilled the very bottom of it out. So ideally, when these are glued in place, you'll be able to see just a little bit of silver paint denoting maybe a butterfly or something underneath it. That's my goal, but in reality, it's going to be so tiny, it may not even be noticed. But I'll know it's there. So we're going to really abuse the crap out of this decal with a lot of heat and a lot of microsol because we want to force it to adhere to that shape. And it's going to be a pretty quick process. So let's get started. First thing we got to do is get our decal cut in half. So I'm just going to put it right there. And that piece we're going to put over to the side. And we're going to dunk it in our 185-degree water for a few seconds. That'll work. And grab our skewer. Grab some microsol. And coat the whole piece with some microsol. We're not even going to mess with the micro set. We're just going to go straight to sol. But we want this decal to get soft quickly. Once that's on, I'm going to switch to my Optivisor so I can see what I'm doing. That's very important when you're dealing with something like this. So the way I've trimmed this, I want no decal film on the top part. So I'm going to rotate it around, and I'm off camera again. Try to get this, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I like to be as perfect as I can. There. So I apologize how small this is. You may not see everything because it is tiny, but you just want to make sure it's lined up a little bit. Now we're going to attack it. First, we're going to put this a little bit more microsol on it, which will make it get misaligned, of course. That's okay. We can put it back. There. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered because we're gonna hit it with our heat shortly. You may not hear my blow dryer running because my microphone apparently has really good noise canceling, so anything it deems as noise, it doesn't hear. So let's get this done. And I'm just going to rotate it a little as I'm heating it up to help it conform. Now, to get it with some more microsol and just kind of very gently, well, now we're off a little bit. Knock it back down. There we go. All right, just a little bit of microsol and then we'll get back to the heat. And just kind of rotate it while it's doing that. More microsol. It's taking shape really well. I was kind of brushing towards the edge of the decal and to force it into that bell shape. A bit more heat. And rotating with the brush with the microsol. Having the decal very warm like that helps. Again, we're just really abusing this decal by forcing it with some heat to adhere. You could probably do this a little at a time over the period of a day or two without the heat, but I'm kind of on a time crunch and I know what I can get away with these decals. And this has got to get done all the decals have to be done today because I've only got 11 days to get this done before the end of the year. And that's my goal. So that side is done. Now grab the other decal. And the only thing you really got to worry about is making sure that they both are going the same direction. Although having said that, I will say that these are so small that I don't think you're going to notice if the directions are different or not because they're very tiny. And even though this is not 1/24th scale carbon fiber, it's more of a 1/20th, which visually looks better because you can actually see it. Where 24th scale carbon fiber, you literally cannot, like if you're walking up to a show table and it's sitting on the table, you're not going to be able to see the weave. It's just too small. So most people use a 1/20th instead. Get our decal in place. Sure, oh, it's not even on the right side. It was on the wrong side. Better. Well, we gotta rotate. I got all the decal film on the wrong spot. Ah. Fix it into place. Again, I'm on the wrong side. And rotate. There we go. I think we just about got it in the right spot. Nope. A little bit further that way. This is the hardest part right here. Now, when you're doing a technique like this, where you're having to wrap it around a curved object, it's very important that you're very aware of what direction your blow dryer is going. Because if you even just get a little off, it's going to blow this thing right off the part. And best case scenario, it lands somewhere where you can see it, and then you still got plenty of time to get it repositioned. Worst case scenario, it goes flying across the room and you never see it. Or by the time you do find it, it's long dried out. At that point, you may not be able to save it. So we got our ball on there. Let's hit it with some heat. And again, we'll just kind of very slowly rotate the skewer while we're applying heat to get that perfect. Back to our microsalt again. And just give it some light brush strokes. Or heat. Microsol. This one is almost done. or heat. So, forcing that bell shape. Off camera again. There needs to be like a buzzer on my camera to let me know that I'm off camera. Well, I'm going to say this one's done. I'm going to hit it with some heat one more time before I actually am finished. Here we go. One carbon fiber throttle body trumpet that may or may not ever get seen. So when I come back, we'll do the top. And that will be interesting because since it's hollow now, we'll probably have to cut a hole in it. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So we're going to do the tops now. I've got this one finished already. Everything went really well. Of course, it's so small you can't see it. I will put some photos at the end or beginning of the video. I'm not sure which. Uh, so these two here already have the top decal in place. It's actually been on there for about, I don't know, 30 minutes, in which maybe an hour, because I switched some laundry out, took a shower, had some breakfast. So what we're going to do, if we can get this in camera, you can see, I don't know if you can tell. Oh, there we go. Ooh, right there. It's got just a little bit of I think that's a concave shape to it because it's kind of sunk down a little bit into the bell. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our heat and our micro sol to heat it up and then gently, a little at a time, keep pushing the decal further down into the bell. On the first one, I did not have to cut or poke a hole in. It actually made its own hole all by itself, along with the brush, kind of forcing it into it. But we're going to do that. So at least on one of them. So our water, let's see. Airbrush is ready to go. Microsolve ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do, add a little bit of Microsol. And then we're going to hit it with the heat. Not entirely sure why my bench is so bright, but I'm going to move the light a little bit further away. So now we're going to take, now that that decal's nice and warm, let me get my optivisor so I can really see what I'm doing. I don't know why I didn't already have it on. So we're just going to put the brush on there and slowly rotate while putting a little pressure on the decal, but not enough to where it's going to tear. And that is a fine line. We are probably about a halfway sunk down in there. So we're going to hit some more heat now that it's still wet. Got to stop before I burn my fingers. And some more microsol. Pushing down a little further. Gently. We're just slowly working that decal down inside the bell. It seems like a real tedious, slow process, but it's not really that bad. The important thing is when you're doing this, don't try this on a dry decal. It's got to be warm and wet. Otherwise, it will just tear. Microsol. Just using the tip of the brush and just barely pressing down. Not even very much pressure. I'm turning as I go. More heat. Microsol. More pressure. Actually applying a little bit more pressure now. And now we can definitely see the bottom, so it's already made its hole all by itself. And just a little bit more. That is hot. You can actually see the end of my toothpick at the bottom, which is what we want. is done. So not only do we have, so now we have a carbon fiber trumpet for the throttle bodies. So there's that. I got 10 more to do. We'll be back.